As of the release of this video, the most popular video on my channel is the Juno New Origins Iceberg video. And so I finally decided, after a year of its upload, I think it's about time to roll it back and continue the series. If you're new to how Iceberg videos work, I'll quickly explain it. This is an iceberg. It's comprised of 5 tiers. The tiers are in an order from top to bottom. The top tiers are the most tame entries, and the bottom of the iceberg holds the deepest and darkest entries. If you watched the original iceberg video, you may realize that there's going to be some repeats in here. That's because they need further clarification, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Simple Rockets 1. Simple Rockets was the first space game made by Juno. It was released on mobile in 2013 and on Steam in 2015. The game was a 2D rocket builder, allowing you to attach parts in any combination you want to make different types of custom rockets. Once you've built your craft, you can fly around the smaller system, you can land on different planets like Mars, and even make rovers using the wheels. In the game, you can still see some stuff that has influenced Juno as it is now. Some modern mobile devices can't download Simple Rockets anymore, however it's still fully available on Steam. No mods on mobile. No mods on mobile refers to the fact that you can't use modifications, such as mods like Parallax and Ember, on mobile devices. There are many mobile games out there that can't have mods, and it's normally because the app stores don't like mods, but there are other reasons that developers choose not to make mods available for mobile as well. It's also a bit of a meme in the community. With lots of cool mods on the horizon, many mobile players have been asking almost constantly for mods on mobile. Hidden radio stations. Around Drew there are multiple radio stations. The easiest way to see these radio stations is by going into a hybrid mode career mode, and then you can see all the hidden radio stations and teleport to them. They're typically quite basic, only a satellite dish and some additional different parts such as generators, but more structures are really awesome because it means we get to explore and find more. Juno System 1.0. The Juno System 1.0 is the original system in Juno New Origins. If you want to create the system yourself, create a new system, go to Sandbox and select Juno System Classic. It features 6 main bodies: the star Juno, Drew, Luna, Silero, Tydos, and Urados. All the planets look vastly different to how they look in the new system, but personally I do prefer some of the older planets such as Silero, which looks much more interesting in my opinion. The old planets look much more akin to the KSP-1 planets. There's also some other interesting stuff about the system, such as the Drew launchpad having unique smoke, which is volumetric. There are 4 default launch locations in this system. This also, for obvious reasons, loads extremely fast. Juno Village Statue. Juno Village Statue is a statue next to the runway in Juno Village. The statue is based on a goddess called Hera, which in the Roman religion was called Juno. The statue's head was inspired by the head of Hera, and the body and wings were inspired by the winged victory of Samothrace. Her open wings signal the freedom of the game and are next to the runway, which is to show players should try and fly. She looks towards the horizon to watch Juno raise between the mountains. "30 AGs and 50 colors chip." This is a command chip posted on the website by Pedro, which allows you to have 30 action groups and 50 different colors. As you can see here with this very silly craft I've made, there are many different colors on it, and also there's more than 10 action groups, which is what you normally have by default. This is quite helpful if you have very complex crafts. Square stars. If you've ever used a super camera in Juno with the stars on, you may have noticed that the stars are actually square. You can really notice how square they are by zooming into them next to a planet such as Drew here. They're square like this because it's set up like that in the program that generates the skybox. Jastras and Hypathion. The moons of Jastras and Hypathion are a reference to Jastro and Hypatch from the Juno community. They were a huge part of the planet building community in the very start, and as a massive coincidence, Jastras and Hypathion are inspired by the moons of Hyperion and Janus in our own solar system, and you can very clearly see the similarities when you put these moons next to each other. Complex rockets. Complex Rockets is a small Discord server where people showcase the mods they're working on and other similar technical things, and it's a great place to go if you need help doing something with your mod. Andrew was, I guess what you could call it, a meme made by someone called Clory. Unfortunately their Juno website account doesn't exist anymore, but this is what it looked like, and it's meant to look like Andrew, the creator of Jundrew, but on Drew, thus Andrew. And the further evolution of it was made by Pedro, and this one is significantly higher detail. Community Space Station. The Community Space Station was 3 massive collaborative projects which aimed at building space stations using many people's different parts. The projects were primarily hosted by 4Wind. All 3 of them were very unique, and I'd like to go through each of them in a different iceberg in the future. Dorian Cult. The Dorian Cult is quite a long story, and luckily I've already made a full format video on it, but the short version is, when Supreme Dorian left as a moderator from the Juno community server, as a tribute to him everybody put Dorian at the start of their name. Thus there was hundreds of people that had Dorian in their name. And even months after that you can still find people who have not taken the Dorian out of their name, which is pretty awesome. Funky Trees. To quote the Funkmaster himself, when asked what Funky Trees is in Dum Dum language, and I quote, "It's just a simple way to take a set of inputs and combine them with some set of mathematical function to produce an output." I still don't know what that means, so I guess he didn't dumb it down enough. The system was originally made in the other Jundrew game, Simple Planes. Yuri and Sally. Yuri and Sally are 2 druids that you find very often in the game. You can find them in Stockcraft, and that's because they're default druids, so they automatically fill the seats of the Stockcraft. You also get them as your first 2 free druids in career mode. If it's not obvious, they're named after the notable cosmonaut and astronaut Yuri Gagarin and Sally Ride. They've also featured prominently elsewhere in the game, such as challenges, and honestly they deserve a whole video of their own. Simple Planes assets in Juno. There's only one asset in Juno that is vaguely representative of an asset in Simple Planes, and that is the static RCS nozzle. The models are almost identical, except the Simple Planes one has some holes in the side. Personally, I wish we actually had 2 styles in Juno and we could actually choose between these 2 styles. Someone please make a very simple mod of that if you can somehow get the model out of Simple Planes. Jacksepticeye played Simple Rockets. If you don't know the enormous YouTube channel that is Jacksepticeye, then I don't know what rock you've been living under, but almost 8 years ago now, he played the original Simple Rockets game and made a series on it, and as you can see it's gotten almost 2 million views, which is absolutely insane for this game. It's kind of unfortunate that no such channels have tried Juno yet. Secret Creators Text Channel. This is simply a Discord channel in the Juno community server, which only a few people can see, such as devs, moderators and the content creators. It's a place for them to chat, and my channel wouldn't be where it is right now without that place. The South Pole Pole. As the name suggests, this is a pole in the South Pole, and it's basically just an object to mark where the South Pole exactly is. And from this location you get to witness the cool phenomenon, which is Juno just sticking on the horizon. Its coordinates are -90, 0, 0. Duard Kawaii. Duard Kawaii, yes that is kind of hard to say, is a emoji in the Juno community server. And here's some of the other druid related emojis in the server as well. All of them are really awesome, and even one of my custom emojis made it into the server. Pedro and WMP edited in. If you go into the credits of Juno, you'll see the 7 employees of Jundrew as their outlines in an image. The image was taken in the Jundrew office, but if you look at the image, you'll notice there's only 5 people there: Andrew, Kevin, William, Philip and Nathan. So you're probably wondering how Pedro and Nikki got edited in. Well, Pedro edited them in with Inkscape, and as you can see, he's done a damn good job with it. Graal. Graal is a rocket made by Pedro and Jastro. It was the first fully automated self-landing rocket, and it was also modular. The craft was made before Vizzy and Funk were even in the game, so instead they use an obscure feature called input-based activators. These are still in the game, but not many players know about them. Unfortunately, after many years of updates, this craft is now dead. It doesn't work anymore. But it was the gateway for automated crafts as we know them today. The Novoneria Bench. The Novoneria Bench is a structure near DSC, and it's a bench with a poem on the concrete in front of it, and it's a reference to a Galician poet. Abandoned Station. The abandoned station is a somewhat hard to find structure on Drew. It's in the middle of a desert and it's basically an exact replica of the old DSC. It even has a nice Simple Rockets 2 logo inside as a reference, and it looks really cool and overgrown when you have Parallax installed. Brigo name origin. Brigo, or Breorgan, is a mythological hero that defeated a giant to liberate Crunia. A Karuna is its current name. He then got buried and a lighthouse was built on top of him so he would never come back. The lighthouse in A Karuna is currently the oldest active lighthouse in the world, and it's been active for more than 2,000 years. The lighthouse used to be called Farum Brigantium. Nowadays it's called Hercules Lighthouse, since Brigo was the equivalent of Hercules in the Roman religion. And finally, what you've all been waiting for, Big Chungus. The reference is the name of the biggest mountain in the entire Juno system, which is this, and no, I cannot pronounce that, is in some way a reference to Big Chungus. And if you look at the end of this word, it has Gus at the end, so I'm guessing that's the reference, which is kind of small, but it's still a reference. And so there we have it. That is the entire second part to the Juno New Origins Iceberg. I've been working on this video for 6 months now and it's been pretty insane. This is by far my most edited video on the channel, like significantly. So massive thanks to everyone who's helped me put this together. Hopefully it's a worthy successor to what I originally made. And I'd like to thank everyone who supported me in the year of 2023. The channel got quite big this year, which is awesome. And hopefully we'll be able to push it even bigger in 2024. Massive thanks to our Patreons, Pedro and Dazix, for supplying the funding for the music you can hear in this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.